Acts of Heart. The ripple of kindness in the quiet town of Brookhaven, Ohio. Life moved slowly. Neighbors waved from porches. Kids biked down cracked sidewalks, and Friday night football was the highlight of the week. But like many small towns, beneath the surface lay silent struggles. Families fought bills. Seniors lived in loneliness. Too many people felt invisible. 17-year-old Ethan Parker wasn't anyone's idea of extraordinary. He was lanky, with messy brown hair and a smile that didn't always reach his tired eyes. His father had left when Ethan was young, and his mom worked 2 jobs at the grocery store and diner just to keep the lights on. Ethan carried responsibilities. Most teens never had to think about cooking dinner for his little sister, seeing things around the house, and stretching every dollar. Still, Ethan believed in kindness. Not the kind that made headlines, but the small, quiet gestures that made life a little less heavy. The snowstorm one icy January morning. A snowstorm blanketed Brookhaven in thick white. The streets were silent, muffled by drifts, and most families stayed inside. Bundled in his patched coat, Ethan grabbed a shovel and began clearing his own walkway before heading to school. As he worked, he noticed Mrs. Whitaker, an elderly widow who lived 2 houses down, struggling with her driveway. Her thin frame bent against the cold, shovel slipping from her hands. Ethan hesitated. He was already late, and the bus wouldn't wait for him, but something tugged at his chest. With a deep breath, he trudged over and said, "Let me help, Mrs. Whitaker." She protested at first. "Oh no, dear, you'll be late," but Ethan insisted. Together, they cleared the snow. When they finished, she smiled with teary eyes. "Your father would be proud." "Thank you, Ethan." He shrugged it off, grabbed his backpack, and sprinted to school, never imagining what that one act would set in motion. The chain reaction later that day. Mrs. Whitaker told her bridge club about Ethan. Her story spread through town faster than the winter wind. The next morning, Mr. Jenkins, who ran the hardware store, decided to donate supplies to families who couldn't afford snow, salt, or shovels. Inspired, a group of high school kids volunteered to deliver them. Then Pastor Williams announced at church, "Kindness is contagious. Let's follow Ethan's example and look out for each other this winter." Suddenly, Brookhaven buzzed with compassion. Neighbors helped neighbors. Teenagers checked in on the elderly. Families shared meals with those who had little. Ethan's surprise at first. Ethan didn't even notice. He was too busy balancing school, chores, and his part-time job at the diner. But one evening, as he walked home, he saw something strange. Across the street, kids shoveled the elderly Mr. Torres's driveway. At the corner, a family left groceries on a struggling neighbor's porch. Smiles, laughter, and warmth filled the chilly air. Confused, Ethan asked Jason, his best friend, "What's going on?" "Everyone's different." Jason grinned. "Don't you get it? This is because of you. People heard what you did for Mrs. Whitaker. It's like you lit a spark." Ethan's chest tightened. Him, just a kid with a shovel. He couldn't believe it. The school assembly a week later, the principal called an unexpected assembly. Students filed into the gym, whispering curiously. On stage stood the mayor, the principal, and Mrs. Whitaker. The mayor spoke first. In times like these, we're reminded that it only takes one act of kindness to bring a community together. That spark came from a student sitting among you today. Ethan sank in his seat, heat rushing to his face. "Please join me in thanking Ethan Parker." Gasps, then applause erupted. Jason shoved him forward. "Go on, man." Ethan shuffled to the stage, heart hammering. The mayor shook his hand and handed him a certificate that read, "Acts of Heart, Brookhaven's Kindness Award." Mrs. Whitaker whispered as she hugged him. "You've reminded us of what matters." The transformation from that day on, Brookhaven wasn't the same. Kindness became a tradition. People left notes of encouragement on lockers, organized food, drives, and created a neighbors helping neighbors group that kept the spirit alive. And Ethan, he stayed humble. He still wore his old coat, still worked late shifts at the diner, still cooked dinner for his sister. But he carried a quiet pride, knowing his small choice had sparked something bigger than himself. One snowy evening, his sister asked, "Do you think Dad knows what you did?" Ethan looked at the glowing street, neighbors chatting as they cleared snow together, and smiled softly. "Yeah," he whispered, "I think he does." Years later, Ethan's story followed him into adulthood. He studied social work in college, determined to keep helping others. Whenever he returned to Brookhaven, people still called him the boy who started the kindness wave. But Ethan never claimed the credit. "It wasn't me," he'd say. "It was the town. I just picked up a shovel." Moral of the story: the ripple of kindness always begins with one choice. It's a small act, a helping hand, a smile, a moment of compassion can spark something far greater than we ever imagined. Ethan's story reminds us, you don't have to be powerful, rich, or famous to change the world. Sometimes all it takes is a shovel, a moment, and a heart willing to care. Because kindness, once given, never stops. Ripples outward, lighting lives, healing wounds, and building communities of love.